Thank you for watching. My Yeti XXL. One crucial part still missing. I'm pretty sure that you can tell instantly what it is. That's the body panels. Now I stretched this car 5 inches, and in doing that I also needed to adapt the body panels. As in a regular XL, they would end approximately over here. So what I did is I cut up both of the side panels. I cut up one of the roof panels as well, just to make sure that I could make it look like it actually belonged together the way it is right now. Now in having sort of like a joint section over here and also in the roof, you need to of course make sure that that transition looks as smooth as possible, and you can do that in solving that paint wise. So what I did is I bolted all the body panels to the car prior to putting on my design. My design, by the way, which as always I have printed out on regular printer paper, mirrored, so it's sort of like in reverse. Then I stick it to the outside of the car with the printed side facing in. So when you cut it eventually, then and after you peel it, it actually faces the right way out. I hope that makes sense. If not, rewind it and have another look. The side panels, let me see if I can find the two that actually belong on the side that's facing towards the camera. The side panels, they will look like this once they are on the car. Let's see that I actually do it the right way around. And you can see it in bolting them on prior to putting on the design, prior to cutting it. You can actually line it up so it completely matches up. Now, if I do this, you will see the original length of the car, and then this is the part that I needed to stretch in order for it to actually cover up the entire side of that modified roll cage. What I did is I put on a HemiStorm logo over the sides. I put on the axialracing.com web address on the sides as well. I have a Dynegy Lipos logo going on over here, which I fill in later on with a different color. It also has like a pinstripe going on around it. And over here I have Mamba Monster logo going on. Of course the power plant that I'm using by Castle Creations. In the front over here you see another Axial logo, just to make sure that people know what car I'm actually driving and what batteries are actually powering it and what power plant I'm actually running. Now, in the front section, you see that I have cut out a Vanquish Products logo, a KMC Wheels logo, and a Pitbull Tires logo. In the last video I've gone over what I'm actually using wheels and tires wise. These are the KMC Rockstar replicas made by Vanquish Products. I really like the look of them, so I wanted to make sure to represent that on the front. And the Pitbull tires are of course the Rock Beast XLs that you have also seen in the previous video. The rear axle is also made by Vanquish. So I added another 2 logos on the side over here, which I will fill in later on with a different color. Now, paint wise, I'm going to keep this one really simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this pinstripe that's going around all those logos. I'm going to fill that in with a champagne anodized aluminium. That's the color that you also see on all these reinforced axial parts. Some of these parts come standard when you buy a Yeti XL kit. Other parts, like for example the reinforcements in the upper links over here, those are optional, but I really like the color of them and I want to make sure that it sort of returns in the body. So the pinstripes around here, those are going to be champagne anodized aluminium. You need to back that with a black anyway, so I'm going to fill everything surrounding it. I'm going to fill that in with a black later on. I also want to have some black on the inside of the logos over here, while I'm going to sort of cover the outside on those parts with a white. And that white, I want that to again appear in the lettering and in the logos that I'm cutting out, or that I already have cut out in the center. So that way I have sort of like the exact opposite of what I'm doing on the side. I have that in the center and vice versa, with the only difference being that I want this pinstripe in everything that I cut out in the sides to be silver. So, quite simple. I have another pinstripe going on between those two sections, so between the black and between the white. I cut a pinstripe that's approximately 4mm wide. I'm going to fill that in with, I think, a metallic blue or something like that, just to make sure that it has a tiny bit of color going on. Onto the roof section, which is also already completely cut. On the roof section, I put an Axial logo. Again, I bolted this to the car prior to putting this design on. So I have an Axial logo going on, then I have the Yeti XXL logo going on. And in the very bottom, which is going to be the front, I have a Castle Creations logo going on. And on the sides, two Inventables logos. Inventables is the manufacturer of the X-Carve, and that's the machine that enabled me to actually do this build. Because without their CNC machine, without the X-Carve, nothing would have been possible. So, well, with that you sort of have a complete list of ingredients that I used for this build. And I hope in painting it up that it will look very coherent and that it will actually look like it's almost a factory done car. Now, this is going to be perhaps one of my longer painting videos. I'm in no rush to get it done. The weather outside isn't terrific. So I'm also not that keen to go out and film yet, just because it is too cold and there's not a whole lot of daylight going on. So I'm going to take my time in painting this up, and in taking my time I also want to show a couple more tricks. For example, what I do to prep my paint cans. What I always do is I put them in a tiny basin of hot water, just to make sure that the pressure gets maximized in those cans. Maximizing the pressure means that you can paint a whole lot easier. If I need to cut this video up in 2 videos, then too bad. I also still need to paint up these interior panels, and again, I'm not in a rush to get it done. This car has been such a lot of work so far that I just want to get it right the first time around. I'm also toying with the idea of putting on a light bar in the very front and also across the roof. I know that Proline is releasing a couple of light bars in February, so that should be really interesting. Anyway, onto the paint first. Doing the champagne aluminium first is the easiest way. I again use the Bitty Design liquid mask, which is absolutely not the greatest liquid mask on the planet, because it tends to fuse itself after a couple of coats of paint. But in doing this pinstripe first, I'm making sure that I do not touch up on all the other pinstripes too much. I'm fairly confident that it will be usable in this paint scheme. Okay, my first coat is now on and it's dry, which is a barely noticeable champagne anodized aluminium. I also peeled the second coat, which I'm going to do in a bright silver. This again is like a really minimal pinstripe, and you want to do this as early as you can in your paint scheme, just to avoid having peeling problems later on. So over here you see the Mamba Monster logo. I took that one out, took this Axial logo out. These Dynagy logos, also took these 2 Vanquish logos out that are on the hood, and in addition on the roof the Inventables logos. I also peeled the surrounding around those, just so I can fill those in later on with a black. For now I'm just going to focus on putting this on, making sure not to touch the champagne anodized aluminium all too much. That way I have like clean colors and everything is clear. Once that's on, I'm going to peel everything that's going to be black. I do, however, have an idea just to put like a tiny bit of an extra effect in there. I think I'm going to leave it here for this video. You can see that I filled in all those tiny pinstripes around these logos that are on the lower section of the body and on like the outside. I filled it in with a bright silver. Afterwards I took a blue metallic, filled in the bottom. You will see that in the close-up. What I did is I ripped a piece of paper and sort of sprayed along the hard edge of that before eventually backing it with a black. After that I painted this pinstripe that's going around the entire area on the side and also over the top, sort of dividing those 2 areas that I still need to paint up. I did that just for ease of use, because if I paint it up and I have too many layers going on, it could become a problem to peel that liquid mask. I've had problems in the past with the Bitty Design liquid mask not really coming off the way that I wanted it, and doing it like this is really way easier. So this saves me a huge headache. Now in the next video I'm going to fill in this background, this larger section, and I'm also going to fill in the rest of the body that I still need to do. So everything that you see currently that's like a tiny shade of violet or a bit pinkish even, that's still the liquid mask. No worries, it will turn out okay. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the box below. And if you want to be a tiny bit ahead of what I'm doing over here, have a look at my Instagram and Facebook. Links to those are in the description box. If you want to see how the car eventually turns out, which is most likely in the next video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with what I'm doing over here. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Back on.